Online retailer Jumia Technologies has shut down its e-commerce business. That closure, remember, comes less than 2 weeks after it did the exact same thing in Cameroon. Now, the company has been referred to often by some as the quote-unquote Amazon of Africa because of its business model. It essentially sells its own stock and takes a cut of third-party transactions from vendors on its website. But the business model, it seems, isn't making money, at least not here in Africa. Jumia missed revenue estimates for the second time in 3 quarters, according to results announced this month. In a statement released on Thursday, the retailer said it would continue to serve its vendors and customers in the East African country through its classifieds business. All right, then, so let's explore what happened with Jumia's operations in Tanzania. Let's get the latest on this story. CGTN's Daniel Kijo joins me now live from Dar es Salaam. Daniel, what more do we know about this closure?
Hello, Rama. Well, yes, indeed. One of the biggest e-commerce startups on the continent, Jumia, has closed shop in Tanzania. Jumia management says that the aim is to improve the company's bottom line across Africa. We know that the group is now moving out of smaller markets, Tanzania being the 3rd country in recent times. Like you mentioned, Cameroon has happened, as well as perhaps a country like Rwanda. It appears that the company is looking for ways to cut its losses and become more profitable. But it says that certain ventures like Jumia Travel Tanzania will most likely run remotely from neighboring powerhouse countries like Kenya.
So compared to Jumia, though, how are its competitors, like Kemu, for instance, how are they doing in Tanzania?
Rama, unfortunately, getting the Tanzanian market to embrace e-commerce has been challenging, and there has been no significant growth of this sector of the business over the last couple of years. It's still a pretty new technology, and people are still adopting this kind of ways of buying things. We don't have recent numbers on what Kaimu has, the numbers of the performance, but we know that another player like Kiku is doing a bit better than these 2 others because most of the items on the platform are very affordable, so this entices Tanzanians to buy as they feel even if anything happens, they don't really lose anything. But in general, the e-commerce model in Tanzania has not been well received.
That's an interesting point you raise, because other than Ethiopia, which has got at least 100 million people, Tanzania has the biggest population in East Africa. But clearly that's not translating into a large addressable market for e-commerce companies. Why? What are the obstacles to e-commerce taking off in Tanzania?
Rama, I agree with you that the population it appears to offer a huge opportunity for e-commerce businesses, but unfortunately, huge profits for such firms will have to wait, and it will take some time. We're still, as Tanzanians, are operating on a very cash-based transaction system instead of digital payment systems. For instance, it's more about give me hard cash, I'll give you the product, or I pay cash now, I want to receive my product now, I want to see it. So the idea of transferring money to an unseen entity online and then having to wait for days and sometimes even weeks before you receive a product is a new concept to many people. Also, another limiting factor for local international e-commerce liquidity is the accessibility of banking services that allow online payments. This is still a challenge. Most banks offer debit cards and not credit cards. And now, and also to have a credit card and be able to access online payments, you have to pay a bit of extra service. Even for mobile companies like telcos, for instance, Vodacom is one of the biggest telcos in the country. It has over 8 million subscribers. Only recently has it launched an online payment method through its M-Pesa after it partnered with MasterCard a couple of years ago. So this is still a new form of paying for goods in Tanzania, and it will take time, despite, yes, having over 55 million people in the country.
Indeed, that's going to be an interesting story to follow. Daniel Kijo there, live in Dar es Salaam. Thank you.